Oh, really?
On a violin from my father. He was an excellent violinist.
Oh, was he? Well, what did Mildred play?
She played piano. And, from, oh, this, I don't know how many years. I started picking up skating and running into people like Florence. Ended up,
But you never played a musical instrument?
huh?
You never played a musical instrument?
No, I could play a little bit again and play a scale and play some, I could work out some, one or two notes. I'd work them out, but I didn't really study music.
Well, I know you used to dance a lot when you were younger. When did you get interested in dancing?
One night a couple guys was going to this 25-cent dance on a Friday night or something. I said, "Honey, come on. You know so and so and so and so. They'll dance with you, teach you to dance." So I did. I'd go and go to these cheap dances. After a while, I got so I could do a couple different steps, you know. And got, I can't think of how many different girls in my class in school I danced with by the time we were got out. Florence always could dance.
Well, we were talking earlier tonight about when you were digging the cellar for the cottage.
Yeah.
And tell us about digging that cellar.
It's easy.
It was easy.
You build the cottage up on this much of a wall. You dug a hole in the ground, about that much deep, and you built this. You can see a picture of this of the original building. Marion had that can put over the piano.
Yeah.
And from
Well, do you remember?
seemed like it took 2 years of part-time work to get so we could get down there and have, we had a electric stove, and we had some kind of a heater. Maybe the electric stove would heat part of it. And I don't know when I built the actual fireplace, but it was only on this far below Earth.
Mm-hmm.
The old it was a big block of concrete about that thick, about 6 foot square. And I built the chimney right on up out the roof. And when we started building cellars, that was, I had a place off the back of the house where we could hook up a pump to pump the water up to the bathroom, which was almost overhead, and the kitchen, another 6 feet. All that was on just this much open air, see. So after I got things started, I started at the one edge of where this pump room was. I started one edge of that and started across the back of the house. You dig down to the bottom of the hole, trench you were going over, about this wide, around. Of course, it took all the excess dirt nearby out of it. And when you got that bottom trench made about this wide, this thick, you made enough concrete for about 6 or 7 feet of supporting the house, which you would, after all that stuff had set up, within so far of where it was had to be shelved in, you'd make up a mortar and chips and fill in any space to get underneath that. When you got that segment done, of course maybe 2 weeks had gone by before you got around to digging the next lot. So that way I went across and up, and I had a window here and a window there, and then I got to the front corner, had to put in a piece of wire to make the street light. Street
light. The light.
What do you call it? Anyway, I had to stop and do that. That was a big a hole. That was deep. Did you find that hat yet?
Okay, Lawrence, when were you born and where were you born?
March 21st, 1919, in Chester Hospital, Chester, PA.
So you weren't born at home?
No.
All right, well, Bob was telling us that sometimes people were born at home and
Right.
sometime in the hospital. He couldn't remember if he was born in the hospital or at home.
I don't remember. I don't
Okay,
know.
you weren't there. Well, where did you grow up in Chester?
Yes.
Where was your house?
The last one was at 937 McDowell Avenue.
Now, when you say the
Chester.
last one, how many did you live in?
We lived on one on 11th Street across from Aunt Mary when I was little. And then we lived on one on Chestnut Street, which was by the Ewing Mills where Dad worked. And then we lived on McDowell Avenue.
So you say your dad worked at, what mill was it?
Ewing and Thomas Textile Mill.
And what did he do there?
He was foreman.
So, Was your childhood pretty normal childhood?
Normal.
Normal. What would you do for fun on a day you might have off?
We lived on the corner, and the boys would play
Huh?
kickball or kick the wicky. And then, of course, I'd watch them. I don't know what else we did much for fun.
Okay, I mean, were there movies back then?
Well, sure, yeah, there were movies, but
Oh.
yeah, there was a Boyd's Theater and the Stanley Theater, both in Chester.
Okay. Well, where did you go to school?
I went to two little schoolhouses, and then I went to Morton Avenue School, elementary school. Then I went to Madison Street School, and Smedley Junior High School from 7th to 9th grade, and Chester High School.
You graduated from high school?
Graduated in February of '37.
So did you go on to college or did you go to work?
I went to Sleeper's Business School. And for a while.
Until when?
I don't know if I may have gone a year. I think
Did you work after you went to that school?
no, I got married.
All right. Well, then that leads to this question. Where did you meet Bob?
At the Leopard roller skating rink.
And
In Chester.
you hadn't met him before.
He was in my class in high school, but I hadn't met him.
Didn't even know her.
And what do you recall about that meeting?
Well, maybe I should say that. I was really interested in his boyfriend, his friend,
Oh, okay.
but, but then somehow I got interested in Bob.
Well, was it after he asked you to skate or you asked him to skate?
Oh, he probably asked me to skate. And we belonged to a skating club that used to go around to different skating rinks and we danced.
Well, now, where did you learn to dance? He was telling us when he
Well,
learned.
this was dancing on skates.
Oh, okay.
Well, we just kind of picked it up, dancing together.
Oh, okay. Because he said he went to dances before.
Yes, he went to dances before I started over.
Yeah. Well, then, when did you get married? Well, first of all, before getting married, tell us, how did he ask you to marry him?
He won't admit it, but we were skating around the rink. And he said, how about if we, what's that expression? Two things at once.
Oh, kill two birds with one stone?
Kill the bird, and get married. So that's the way it was.
His version is slightly different.
Oh, is it?
His version is that it was getting close to Christmas
Yeah.
and he needed to buy
We
you.
kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And,
and
yes,
and
that's
so
it.
did you say yes right away?
Yes,
You did.
sure.
Oh, okay. So when were you married?
June 25th, 1938.
All right. Well, then what did you do after you got married? Well, not everything.
We went to Atlantic City on our honeymoon. Bob's brother Pete and Thelma took us down. We didn't have a car. We came home by train, and my friend Verna and her husband met us at the train station, and we all went to Crystal Beach Manor, where Verna's parents had a cottage.
Well, then where did you live after you were married?
We lived with my parents on McDowell Avenue from June until September of '39, when our son Bob was born. My grandfather died in September, and they lived in a house in Eddystone that was 3-story. And we all moved up to Eddystone in September of '38.
Or September 39?
39.
Okay. I was just doing the math real
So,
quick.
but we all, your mother and dad and you and
Aunt Nevada and Uncle Vic was on the first floor. Mother and Dad was on the second floor. Grandma had a room on the second floor. Bob and Bobby and I were on the third floor. And we had one bathroom on the second floor for all of us.
I can tell that's a fond memory. How did you manage that? One bathroom with all those people?
Not very well, I guess. Because it always seemed that I was bathing Bobby when Aunt Nevada came home and had to go to the bathroom.
Uh-huh. All right, well, let's move right on along here. How long did you stay in that house?
1946. They moved in the autumn. Wasn't it?
Bob was in first grade.
it was the first grade. I can remember his
He
first grade.
went to
too.
first grade, and we moved, he started first grade in Eddystone, and we moved in November. And just before Thanksgiving to 1414 Sickle Street, Chester, PA.
Well, now, how did you find the house on Siegel Street?
Bob's sister, Mildred, knew that I was desperate to get out of Eddystone. And she called and said that this house was going to be for sale, that she knew the people had lived in there and they said they were moving. So we rode by the house, looked at it, didn't go inside, and spoke to Mr. Rankin, who owned the house, who also was the attorney for where Dad worked. And so we bought the house without even going inside.
That was desperation.
That was desperation.
Well, then, how long did you live there?
We lived there until 1979, when we moved to Maryland, Carrollville, Maryland.
Well, how much did you pay for the house on Siegel Street?
I really don't know. On Siegel Street,
Mm-hmm.
less than 5,000. Is that what Bob said?
No, I didn't ask him that. I didn't ask him. I thought it would be interesting to hear how much those houses cost when you first purchased
Yeah.
them.
And when Bob was a senior in college, the Christmas before he graduated, which was that would be
61. It was 1960.
1960, because he graduated
Yeah.
in '61. he gave us our booklet that he had paid off our mortgage.
Oh, good son,
Good, so.
good son. Well, now Bob was telling us about the digging of the cellar for the cottage, and what are your memories of how you even decided to go build a cottage?
The Cullises, who were neighbors and friends of ours from Sigel Street, were building a cottage at Hollywood Beach in Earlville, Maryland.
That's what,
It could have been,
Hollywood.
it could have been Chesapeake City, but it was Hollywood Beach, and Bob helped to work on that. And Marion was about 2, and we used to go down and stay over. And we wanted to buy the lot next door to that. And they were going to take it before the group on Labor Day. And all of the Danekers were down at Port Herman, which was next to Hollywood Beach, for a picnic. And we walked over to Hollywood Beach and saw the Cullises, and he said that it hadn't gone through, that we couldn't buy it.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of weekends after that, or one day, we took Marion up to Aunt Thelma's, and she stayed there while we went looking. And we found Westview Shores,
What year was that?
1949.
1949. Okay. So that's when you bought your lot there?
We bought the first lot in 1949.
Hmm.
And Bob started building in 1950.
How long did it take to get the cottage built?
Oh, heavens.
Well, where did you get your materials to build it?
I got to heaped up hair from his cat.
I noticed.
Yeah. Well, there was an old farmhouse up on the lot from us, Dillman's house, and they were going to tear it down to build houses up there. And Bob had the contract to take anything out the house that he wanted for $50.
Wow.
So he got all the the beams
mhm.
and
Boards,
all the doors.
sheathing.
And Mr. Cullis, who had a monument business, did take the wood down for us. And Bob built it with that. We used the old doors. We never owed a cent on building the cottage, because as we got the money, we would put new doors on
Mm-hmm.
and do things, but
Well, how old was the farmhouse that you used for the building material? 100 years old?
Huh?
Was the farmhouse
It's an old
100 years
farmhouse.
old when you...
It was built in steps. The oldest part had the 2 front segments,
2 front doors?
and then added to the back of that, them was the next largest.
It
They
was
were
old.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
the second largest was the most productive of wood. The whole roofing board, all the roofing boards, all that kind of stuff was what made most of our, well, when we got the cottage pretty well finished, we had only bought a few boards to make up where we had need for them. And after we got it finished, About what? Before I started digging the cellar. Underneath the old part.
So you built the cottage first and then dug the cellar?
Oh, yeah. I told you that before.
Yeah, I know, I know.
So, as I told you, we'd work on a segment and then fill it in and so on.
Mhm.
And it went on around the corner and that. When we got that all done, all that wall put in, we then dug out the floor and put the
When was Marion born?
what do we use, pebbles or,
June 2nd.
Huh?
What, yeah?
anyway,
When was
we
Marion born?
use
You
some.
were born in 48, I guess.
And we got a contractor to put the floor in the cellar.
Oh, yeah.
But all these other things, like the fireplace, as they told you, was about 6 foot square, a chunk of concrete. We just dug under one face of that and built up to it, and that went on around that. And then we got the professionals come in and put the whole floor in all over. That didn't take long.
This tape's taking me,
All right, well, let's go back to Florence real quick. Florence,
Yes, I'm gonna backtrack a minute.
well, no, I want to ask you a question, because
Right.
we only have a few minutes left on the tape. I asked Bob this, and I'll ask you. What was the best advice you were ever given in your almost 91 years of life? And what advice would you give to your great-grandchildren?
I'm not hearing what you
Select
said.
one, either one.
I don't remember anybody giving me any advice,
Okay?
actually. But I do want to backtrack because I mentioned Marion, and I didn't say that Marion was born June the 2nd, 1948. Am I right?
Okay.
But
We're not going to forget Marion. But
Yeah.
now give Marion's children, grandchildren, some advice.
I don't know, just live and enjoy it.
Live it and enjoy it. Live, love, laugh.
That's right.
Okay. Very good.